Hey there, Heather, ho there, Joe Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to another Stone Cold Hockey video where you're doing the Cutter Canada Cup. As we have 16 of the greatest teams from Canada only from the Stone Cold sets. The Stone Cold sets. We have the 65, 68, 71 WHA, 3 WHA season, 75 NHL season, 79, 84, 91, 94, 06, 12, 22, 23, 24, 25. So all these teams will get to compete for fun skis and all that. The what I determined, I think I did this last year in a sense, but this year what happens is every one of the 8 Canadian teams that host an NHL team will get 2 teams in their draw. Of course, everyone knows Hamilton had a team at one point, and well, they have nothing before 1965. Nevertheless, we have Vancouver will be presented by the 94 squad that went to the Stanley Cup Final and lost Game 7, and the 2012 squad that won the President's Trophy but failed to win the Stanley Cup again. Calgary is represented by the 94 squad that should have went well in the season but got beaten by Vancouver and Pavel Bure's double overtime goal Game 7, and the 2006 Flames, who were also favorites but fell flat. I just couldn't think of any of the Calgary team. I could have went in 2022 with Johnny Gaudreau on it. I might change that. Should I change it? No, Jerome McGinley's on that team, that 06 squad. No way. Edmonton, represented by the 84 squad that won the Stanley Cup and broke the Islanders' drag for 5, and the 2024 squad, not the 25 squad. I think the 24 squad was better. At least they forced a Game 7 in the Stanley Cup final. Winnipeg will be represented by the 2025 team that won the President's Trophy but faltered in the second round, and by the 1979 Winnipeg Jets in the WHA. I did have to cheat because I had to use the WHA. Ottawa represented by the 2006 squad that looked good, but Buffalo somehow beat them in the conference semifinals. And then also the 25 Ottawa squad that made the playoffs after so many years away and put a scare in Toronto. Speaking of Toronto, represented by the 94 squad that came also close to the Stanley Cup Finals, being taken out by Vancouver. They had a tough time against San Jose in the second round. And I put the 1965 Leafs squad because, Johnny Bower and Terry Sawchuk. Montreal will be represented by the 1965 squad because I wanted Jean Beliveau in this game. And in 1979 by a team that was finishing up a dynasty, 4 straight titles. And Quebec City represented by the 1984 Quebec squad because the other team, NHL style team, was 91 and 94. They both sucked, especially the 91 squad. So we have 84 by proxy and the 79 Quebec Nordiques because, the old school, like with the WHA. So we have the Cutter Canada Cup. There is no seeding, so anyone can play each other. Here we go. So the draw. The 84 Oilers take on the 65 Leafs. The 25 Sens take on the 94 Nucks. 94 Calgary, 94 Toronto. Okay, fair. 84 Quebec versus 06 Calgary. 65 Montreal versus 79 Quebec. 2012 Vancouver against 79 Montreal. 79 Jets versus 06 Senators. And the 25 Jets against the 24 Oilers. So everything is just set in stone. And they do it by alphabet. So we're going to take a look at the teams taking part, the 94 Flames, their roster, and all that. Mike Vernon, Trevor Kidd, the goalie combination, Gary Roberts, Robert Reichel, Theo Fleury, Joe Nieuwendyk, Al McInnes, Kitchener. Like the big names. Joe Otto, Kelly Kissio, some of I know Calgary, Gary Sutter, great player, Sarli Silapsky, Michael Nylander. Anyway, yeah. The 2006 squad with Kipper in the net and Boucher the backup. Drew McGilla, Damon Lakeout, Dion Phaneuf, Tony Amonte on that team, Chris Simon, Roman Hammerlick, Darren McCarty, Matt Lombardi, Stefan Yell, and Brian Marchment near the end of his career. Edmonton, the 84 squad, Fuhr and Moog in the net, basically sharing that interesting. Gretzky, Anderson, Curry, Coffey, Kitchener, Messier, Lensman, Gregg, Heidi, Semenko, Foglin, Kevin Lowe, Chartreux, Kitchener. Look it up, people. And Rhino Summanen. The 24 Sen was Stuart Skinner, Calvert Pickard, and Jack Campbell in the net. Zach Hyman, former Leaf. Why did we let him go? Draisaitl, McDavid, Evander Kane, Evan Bouchard, Nugent Hopkins, Ryan McLeod, Ekholm, Daryl Nurse, Corey Perry, yeah, the curse of Corey Perry, Henrique on that team, Cody Ceci, Sam Gagne, Brett Kurlick, yeah, and the Montreal 65 squad, Hodge and Worsley in the net, Backstrom, who was cleverly traded to LA so that Oakland do, would not do well but over LA and got the Habs the 71 draft pick for Guy Lafleur. Pocket Rocket Richard, Jean Beliveau, Johnny Ferguson, Dick Duff, Yvon Cournoyer, Jacques Laperriere, J.C. Tremblay, Ted Harris, Red Berenson even was on this team. Noah Picard, who would later be a GOAT in St. Louis, not in a good way. Andre Boudreaux, 79 Habs, Dryden and Bunny Larocque, Guy Lafleur, Steve Shutt, Mario Tremblay, Yvon Lambert, Jacques Lemaire, Bobby Gainey, Rajon Houle, Larry Robinson, Kitchener, Guy Lapointe, Doug Riceborough, Kitchener, Doug Jarvis. Oh, some interesting thing. Anyway, sorry about that. Serge Savard, Rick Chartra, Kitchener, Brian Egblom, Ron Langway was on that team before Montreal traded him stupidly to Washington and went to Norses. Yvon Cournoyer in his final season. 06 Senators with Hasek, Emery, and Morrison in the net. Yeah, Hasek in the net. Forgot about that. Then he got injured and Emery had to take over. Heatley, Alfredson, Fisher for Met. Spezza, Sedano Chara on that team. Wade Redden, Martin Havlet, and a young Chris Phillips. The 25 squad represented by the Lions Olmark after Boston decided to get rid of him. Anton Forsberg. Also there. Brady Kachuk, Tim Stutza, Shane Pinto Bean, Claude Giroux on that team. Jake Sanderson, Thomas Chabot, David Perron, Nick Cousins, Dylan Cousins, different spelling, Nick Jansen, Arten Sub, Travis Harmonic. Quebec, the 79 team, Richard Brodeur, King Richard, with Jim Corsi, the backup. A lot of French Canadian names, of course, Quebec City, for the French Canadian side of things. Réal Cloutier, Marc Tardif, Serge Bernier, J.C. Tremblay, Alain Cote, Francis Lacombe, Dale Hogan, Wally Weir, and Kevin Devine, if you will. The 84 squad, Ken Bouchard in the nets, Clint Malarchuk, the backup, and also Mario Gozolin. Michel Goulet, Peter Stastny, Will Paymont was on that team, Anton Stastny, Dale Hunter, boo his, Tony McKegney, Mario Stastny, Bo Berglund, Mario Marois, Jonathan Boxmeer, Pat Price, Norman Rashford, and Wally Weir, among others. The 65 Leafs, Sawchuk and Bauer, the Big M, Frank Mahovlich, Ronnie Ellis, Dave Keelan, Bobby Polford, Red Kelly, Bathgate, Ron Stewart, who was a CFL player too, George Armstrong, Tim Horton, Jim Pappin, Pete Stamkowski, Eddie Shack, Carl Brewer, Alan Stanley, Dickie Moore on that team, Brett Selby before he won the Calder, and Billy Harris getting a cup of tea. Bobby Bond too. The 94 squad, Potsdam and Rhodes in the net. Interchuk, Clark, Gilmore, Borshevsky, Cullen, Cecil, Ellett, Mike Gardner on that team. Kruzheletsky, Todd Gill, Jamie McKellen. Some of the big names. Canucks, 94, Kirk McLean, the immortal Kay Whitmore, who Vancouver wanted to protect in the expansion draft. And then they picked up John Van Beesbrook from the Rangers. I mean, to protect Kay Whitmore, and it didn't work out. Bure, Linden, Jeff Cornell, Ronnie, Gino Ojek, Murray Craven, Sergio Mamasso on that team, Lou May, Greg Adams, Marty Jelena, who later became a playoff legend for other teams, Jimmy Carson on that team, Malcontent, as I call him, David Babich, Tim Hunter on that team, Robert Dirk and Gerald Diddick, and Jeff Freeram. The 2012 squad, Belon Schneider, Danny Sedin, Alex Burrows, Ryan Kessler on that team, David Booth on that team, Hendrik Sedin, Mason Ruhrman, Sammy Salo, Kevin Bieksa, Manny Malhotra, Danny Hamhuis, Keith Ballard, and Zach Cassian on that team. For Winnipeg, the 79 squad, Gary Smith, Marcus Matson, and Joe Daly. Well, Daly was kind of on his last legs. Suke Smith played for that team? Kent Nielsen, former future Flame. Morris Lukowitz on that team. Willie Lindstrom. Mike Amadeo. Bobby Hall on that team, but he didn't play much, I guess. Lars Eric Schulberg. and Ted Green leaving on that team. 25 squad, Hellebuck and Comrie winning the Presidents, Kyle Connor, Shifley, Filardi, Ehlers, Perfetti, Nino Niederreiter, Adam Lowry, double overtime hero, Josh Morrissey, Namestnikov, name Stinkoff, Neil Pionk, Mason Appleton, Logan Stanley, Kitchener. I think it was Kitchener native, sorry, and Hayden Fleury, among others. All right, so now you know some big names. All right, we're going to simulate until we're going to simulate a lot because, first round we want to get it done as fast as possible. All right, so round one, Edmonton, Toronto. The 65 Leafs with the big upset in Edmonton. Bauer beats Fuhr. Edmonton goes by Dale Hunter and Mark Messier. Toronto goes by Armstrong, Pulford, and Keon. 25 cents win 5-2. Murder Linen beats Kirk McLean. Vancouver goes by Bure and Ojic. Ottawa goes by Stutza, Amadeo, Cleveland, and then 2 by Davy Perron. Calgary, Toronto. So the 94 Flames beat the 94 Leafs 7-3. As Kidd took care of Potvin. Toronto goes by Andrechuk, Eastwood, and Dougie Gilmer. Calgary goes by Al McInnes, Kitchener, Reichel, McInnes, Kitchener. Gary Roberts, Trent Yanni, Fielfleur, and Germain Titov. Quebec, Calgary. The 84 Nordiques went 3-2 in their first game. Bouchard beats Kipper. Calgary goes by Iggy and Richie, but Quebec goes by Gillis, Goulet, and Peter Schnachny. The 79 Nordiques with the big win 4-1 in Montreal. Brodeur beats Hodge. That's Richard Brodeur. Montreal goes by Red Berenson. Yeah, he would have gone to do better things with the Blues. Bilodeau, Mark Tartif, Bernier, and Richie Leluc for Quebec. At 79, Montreal wins game 1 4-1. Dryden beats Luongo. Sedin, the only goal. Danny Sedin for Vancouver. Montreal goes Lafleur, Lemaire, and Chartrand. Kitchener. Look it up, people. 06 Senators win 4-2 in game 1. Emery beat Matson. Winnipeg goes by Lasik and Gray. Who was it? Healy, Redden, Schubert, and Danny Alfredson for the 06 Sens. And 24 Oilers win in overtime. It was Draisaitl, or Strudel, as I call him, from Henrique and Connor McDavid at 12:18 of overtime. Game 2's. The 94 Canucks have split the first 2 games 4-3. McLean beats Anton Forsberg. Ottawa goes by Stutz, Cutter, Stuff Stoner, and Sanderson. Vancouver goes by Linden, Ronnie, and Dan Casa. 94 Flames are up 2-0 on the 94 Leafs. Vernon beats Potvin. Toronto goes by Robbie Pearson, Gilmore, Ellett, and Wendell Clark. Calgary goes by Nieuwendyk, Otto, Reichel, Nieuwendyk, and Yanni. That's it. Final minutes. 84 Quebec's now 2-0 up in their series, 3-1. Bouchard beats Kipper. Calgary go by Gilla, Paymont, JF Sauve, and Alain Cote for Quebec. Big job because Calgary had 2 goals and Jerome McGinless. Well, yeah. 65 Habs have split their series, first 2 games. Hodge beats Brodeur. Quebec goes by Real Cloutier, Serge Bernier, and Brackenberry. Montreal goes by Jimmy Roberts, not the tennis commentator, Pocket Rocket, LaRose, Backstrom, and Provo. 79 Canucks. Habs are up 2-0 on the road. LaRoque beat Luongo. Kevin Bieksa for Vancouver. Montreal goals 2 by D and 1 by Stevie Shutt. Winnipeg, Ottawa. Ottawa on Prolongation. They're up 2-0. Hasek beats Smith and Smolinski, the winning goal at 1914 of overtime from Spezza and Massaro. So that took a while. 25 Winnipeg have split the first 2 games 5-2. Comrie beats Skinner. Hyman and Bouchard for Edmonton. Shifley, Morrissey, Ehlers, Appleton, and Logan Stanley, Kitchener native. With the goals. And the 84 Oilers have split 3-2. Moak beats Zajac. Toronto goes by Armstrong and Horton. Edmonton goes by Linsman and 2 by Paul Coffey. Kitchener. Game 3. Game 3's. 94 Leafs win 3-0. Potter with the shutout. Andrechuk, Garner, and Gilmore with the goals. 84 Quebec is now 1 win away with Bouchard shutout. Paymont, Marois, and Cote with the goals. 65 Montreal now up 2-1 in their series, 4-1 win. Duff, Backstrom, Provo, and Belleville from Montreal. Quebec goal by Alain Cote. Charlie Hodge beats Richard Brodeur. 79 Habs are now 1 win away as Dryden beats Luongo. Vancouver goes by Bieksa and Salo. Montreal goes by Mario Tremblay. Spit. Pierre Mondu, and Rajon. Oh, you know why I hate Mario Tremblay with a fucking passion. Ottawa is now 3-0 up. The '06 squad winning 6-2. Hasek beats Smith. Winnipeg goes by R16 and Lukowicz. Ottawa goes by Elfie, Vermette, Smolinski, Bolshansky, Elfie, and then Patrick Eves. 25 Oilers win on the Percussion at 4:21. Niederreiter from Pionk and Connor. Winnipeg was actually down 5-3, and then with 2 minutes left, Barron and Iafallo scoring the goals, and Nino with the hat trick. Nino Ryder. 84 Oilers win 4-1. Fuhrer beats Bauer. Bathgate, the only goal for Toronto. Edmonton goes by Messier, Jackson, Messier, and Glennie Anderson. And the 25 Sens are now up 3-1 in the game. Forsberg beats McLean. Hey, Mom. Vancouver goes by Craven. Ottawa goes by Pinto, Stutza, and Godet. So we see a sweep. 8 for Quebec. Do they sweep? Yes, they do. 4-1 over the '06 Flames. Bouchard beats Kipper. Cote, Savard, Peter Stastny, and Marion Stastny for Quebec. Calgary goes by Sean Donovan. So we say goodbye to the '06 Flames. 0-4. Only scoring 4 goals. Aguila with 2, Donovan and Ritchie. Kipper, the goals against a 3.29. Just not there. Just not there, man. Oh, sorry. Shouldn't do that. 79 Oilers, do they sweep? Yeah, they do. 4-0. Dryden with a shutout. Riceboro, Kitchener, Hughes, Shutt, and Gainey. Scoring the goals to the 2012 Canucks are OUT. Their stats, Luongo played all 4 games. Only 4 goals themselves. Biaksa, 2, Sedin, and Salo. So, yeah. They're screwed. '06 Ottawa, they sweep 6-3. Nice job. Emery over Matson. Winnipeg goes by Lukowicz, Tenebridge, and Lukowicz again. Ottawa goes by Vermette, Heatley puts up the hat trick. Eves, and then Heatley one more time scores. So 6-3 for the '06 Senators. 79 Winnipeg. Gary Smith and Marcus Matson shared in the goals against, which was terrible. They scored 10 goals, with Lukowicz getting 3. At least they, unlike the 2012 Canucks and the '06 Flames, actually scored in double digits. 84 Oilers win in overtime. Their 1 win away. Dale Hunter, that can't be right. 1 second from Yuri Curry. Well, that's obviously wrong, but yeah, Edmonton Kachi. 25 Oilers are now up 3-1 with a 5-3 win. Allmark beats K. Whitmore, the immortal K. Whitmore. Vancouver goes by Courtney O'Craven and Muscle. Ottawa goes by Riley Gregg 1-2, and then Highmore. Who the hell is he? Well, Brady Kachuk and Shane Pinto Bean. 94 Leafs win 4-3, so every home team has won. So now it's going to at least a game 6. Potvin beats Kidd. Calgary goes by PT. Too Tough and Colin. Toronto goes by Berehowski, Gilmore, and Johnny Colin. He was still around. 79 Quebec wins in overtime, forces at least a game 6. Ellen Cote at 14:22 from Real and Hogan. And Hodgeby gets taken by Richard Brodeur. And the 24 Oilers have tied their series at 2. Skinner beats Comrie. Edmonton goes by Fogle, Darren Ryan, and McDavid. Winnipeg goes by Kyle Connor and Adam Lowry. All right. 84 Oilers. Do they win their series? No, they don't. They lose 8-5 on home turf. Bauer beats Fuhrer. Edmonton goes by Coffee, Kitchener, Gretzky, Hunter, Anderson, and then Coffee, Kitchener again. They're up 5-2, and they fucked it up. Wow. Kent Douglas and the Big M, Davey Keon, Ron Ellis, Pete Samkowski, Frank the Big M Mahovlich, Billy Harris, and Ron Ellis. Wow. They were up 5-2, and they botched it. This better not be a TSN turning point. Ottawa wins over the 94 Oilers, so they win, and in overtime. Stood still at 4:14 from Bafferson and Kachuk. Maryland beats McLean, so great job by the youngsters. 94 Canucks. So Vancouver's lost both their teams. Kate Whitmore shouldn't be playing in net. Just saying. Any other 3-1s? Yeah, the other 3 series are at 2-2. All right. 94 Leafs win on the road, 4-3. Big win for them. Potvin over Fernan. Calgary goes by Titov, Nuneg, Reiko. Toronto goes by Gilmore, Borshevsky, Clark, and Krusheletsky. He played for the 94 Leafs? Okay. 79 Nordiques on the Percussion over the 65 Habs. Tartif at 4:17 from Kluche and Kevin Morrison. I thought Morrison played for the Colorado Rockies. Maybe not. And the 24 Oilers are now up 3-2, 6-3 wins. Skinner beats Comrie. Winnipeg was up 3-1. Velarde, Shifley, and Ehlers. But no, they didn't. Nuge, Draisaitl, Hyman, Ceci, McDavid, Ceci. The immortal Cody Ceci. And he was a Leaf at one time. So 4 series are at 3-2. Does Edmonton win theirs? 84 Edmonton? Yes, they do. 3-2. Moog beats Bauer. Toronto goes by Red Kelly and Papin. Edmonton goes by Lindstrom, Pat Hughes, and the immortal Kitchener. Pat Coffey. So the 65 Leafs are out. Bauer 2 and 3. Sawchuk didn't do his job. Should have put Sawchuk in more. Dave Keon did score 4 times on Edmonton. 94 Calgary is forced to game 7 back home, 5-2. Fernan beats Boston. Toronto goes by both by Gilmore, Roberts, Fleury, Titoff, McInnes, Kitchener, and Gary Roberts are your goal scorers. So we have game 7 in that sense. 79 Nordiques, big win over the 65 Habs in 6 games as Brodeur beats Worsley. Montreal goes by Provo, LaRose, and Talbot. Quebec goes by Brackenberry, Richie Leduc again, Real Cloutier, Paulin Bordelot, and then Cloutier finishes off. Well, I thought he finished off a hat trick, but yeah. So the 65 Habs are gone. Charlie Hodge 2 and 2. The Gumper couldn't do anything about it. Provo and Backstrom 3 goals. And finally, the 24 Oilers lose 3-2. We got a game 7 in Winnipeg. Winnipeg goes home. Conway beats Pickard. Shifley with 2. Connor scoring. Ekholm and Evander Kane for Edmonton. So we have 2 game 7s, and we will show it. Is there time? 21. Yeah, we're going to show both game 7s. All right. So the 94 Flames have Fernan against King Felix Potvin. I kind of think that the Leafs are going to somehow win. I'm a little biased, of course, but anyway. First up, 3 minutes into the game. Battle aggression. Too aggressive, and Gary Roberts is off. Okay, Leafs try to score. Pop-up halfway goal. Drake's coffee cake. Barahoski has second from Andrzejczyk and Gilmore. 4 minutes later. Scores. Unbelievable. Borshevsky, the hero of 93 with the Leafs against the Red Wings in the first round. His second from Andrzejczyk and Elliott. 2-0. 4 minutes later. Enforcer. And we have a fight between Bumgarner and McCarthy. 2 big boys fighting it out. No big deal to either side. Aggression. Calgary gets 2. And the Leafs take it. Greg, no. And they don't take it. Mark Greg. Ridley Greg plays for the 25 Senators. So the 94 Leafs are up 2-0 after 20 minutes. 2 minutes later. Nothing. Well, actually, the Leafs and Flames were close in points in real life in 94 by 1 point. The 94 Leafs actually were the 3 seed and the 94 Flames were the 2 seed. Reason being is because the NHL, when they split into 2 divisions and made it a 1-8 format, this was the first year of that. They said that the division leaders had to be 1-2, and Calgary was the leader in the Pacific. So they got the 2 seed. Toronto had to face Chicago, their internal rivals. Calgary had to play Vancouver. 2 more minutes. They'll fight. 3 minutes later. Calgary hits? Oh, no. 5 minutes later. A battle of an enforcer. Russian draw. 2 hits, no penalties. Big hit. 2 minutes. Enforcer. And another fight. Bill Berg and McCarthy. Second fight for McCarthy today. He just loves to fight. Another almost they scored. Robbie Reichel from Robertson Peacock. 1. The Leafs are in trouble. 94 Leafs in real life. They took care of the Blackhawks in 6 games and closed down the Chicago Stadium for hockey at least. And then they took on the Sharks and somehow were down 3-2 to the San Jose Sharks, the 8 seed that took out the 94 Flames. They didn't take on the 94 Flames. What am I thinking? Anyway, yeah, the 94 Leafs took on the Canucks and lost in 5 games. They were too tired. The 94 Flames, looked like they were going to take down Vancouver. They were up 3-1, and then Vancouver had to beat Calgary in kind of the degree of difficulty had to be like 5.0 or something, because the Canucks beat the Flames on goals by Courtnall, Linden, and Bure. But the problem was all 3 goals were in overtime. And I think it's definitely the only time in NHL history a team has come back from 3-1 down to win the next 3 games. And they were all in overtime. Vancouver could have given up a goal and ended that season. 5 minutes later. You see the third? Only on Calgary, and it's going to be Joe Otto. Can Toronto take advantage? Borshevsky, they kill the zone on him, and Krusheletsky. 3 minutes later. Leafs take a chance? No. Trying to kill the clock. They score! Drapes! Coffee cake. His third from Todd Gill, and the 94 Leafs look like they're going to take out Calgary. Delivery hit. Empty net time. It's nothing. Nothing's happening. And the 94 Leafs win game 7. They will move on to the second round. Calgary can't believe their luck. 3-1. Toronto goes by Berehowski with 2 and Borshevsky with 1. The names almost are the same. Reichel for Calgary, but man, Toronto didn't take a penalty the whole game. They didn't take a minor. Calgary did. So the 94 Flames are out. Both Calgary teams are out. 94 Flames, Ferdinand 2-3, Kidd 1-1. Reichel and Titov did score 4 times. Al McInnes put up 10 points, but it was not enough. Not enough. And the 25 Jets and the 24 Oilers playing. Eric Comrie in the net against Calvin Pickard. They go with their backups and all that. Winnipeg says they have something to do with Comrie. Personally, I say it's the Jets who win this one. 5 minutes into the game. And the Steelers. Somebody go low, 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 Lowry. His second from Perfetti and Morrissey. Much later. Sorcerer? Gresham? It has been 1-6. 3 minutes later. He's in the zone. Auto zone. He's in the zone. 4 minutes later. And Edmonton found 1-0 after 20 minutes of play. Winnipeg 56 wins. They won the President's Trophy, becoming the first Canadian team since the Canucks in 2012 to do so, for top regular season mark, but too bad that the playoffs were a different story. 24 Oilers, 49 wins. That's pretty good. Much later. Edmonton takes a shot, but Hyman misses. 4 minutes. Take a shot? No. 5 more minutes. Winnipeg. Edmonton takes a shot? No. Leon's trying to make it 2-0, nothing. So it's 1-0 after 40 minutes, excuse. 24 Oilers in real life went on to the Stanley Cup Finals. We're down 3-0 to Florida. It was like, wow, this team just got gassed. But then Edmonton wins the next 3 games, setting up Game 7 in Florida, and they lose 2-1. The 25 Jets looked good. They had to go to Game 7 against St. Louis because the home team won every game. And literally, Winnipeg was 3 seconds away from being eliminated, but somehow they scored to tie the game, force overtime, and an hour. Adam Lowry in double overtime. Goal by Adam Lowry. As hard cheater sing. Was it? They lost in the next round. 5 minutes later. The just hit it on McLeod. 5 minutes later. Bouchard. That's for the field. It's here. Rasmus Kupari. From Kupari. I don't know who the hell that guy is. According to source says he is a center. Okay, much later. Edmonton's trying to kill the clock. Flaherty. Oh. Hey, why does he have the chance? Oh yeah, that guy is for Winnipeg. We're getting close to the empty nets. Edmonton's desperate. They're getting really desperate. They can't do anything, and the Winnipeg Jets win Game 7 at home, and La Bamba is not going to be playing because Edmonton lost. Bad luck. 2-0. So the 24 Oilers are out. Skinner was 3-1. Why the hell did you put Calvin Pickard in the net? He can't stop a beach ball. It should have been Stuart Skinner. Connor McDavid, 5 goals, 13 points, even though they lost. So they drew. So Calgary does not have a team. Edmonton has 1. Montreal has 1. Ottawa takes 2. Quebec takes 2. Toronto takes 1. Winnipeg takes 1. Vancouver takes nothing. So Ottawa and Quebec, surprisingly, are the only franchises to have both their teams survive. So it's the 79 Habs and the 79 Nordiques, the Battle of Quebec, and WHA supremacy against NHL supremacy. That's huge. 84 Nordiques take on the 25 Jets. So the 25 Jets with their President's Trophy take on the 84 Nordiques. The 25 Oilers take on the 25 Sens take on the 84 Oilers. So Ottawa, the youngsters have to take on Gretzky and Coat, and the 94 Leafs take on the '06 Senators. So yeah, it's Hasek versus Potvin. That's gonna probably be, personally, I think that series is gonna be the wild card with 94 Leafs and '06 Senators playing, because you got the 79 Habs who won the Stanley Cup. You got the 79 Nordiques who were a good WHA team. The 84 Nordiques, they were okay, but not great. The 25 Jets who were a President's Trophy winner. The 25 Senators, a youngsters team, and of course the '84 Oilers who have Gretzky and Co. So yeah, I think that Toronto Ottawa series is going to definitely be a 50-50 proposition, be like the closest, but I could be wrong. So anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.